Good evening. Welcome back to Vegas October 1 Sounds. Something popped up on my radar this evening that I thought I'd bring to your attention. It's a project being done by a bunch of students at Carnegie Mellon University. And basically, it's a system for shooter localization. And they've been working a number of years on it. And this year they've, produced technical reports and a deliverable product which they are beginning to demonstrate. And they just so happen to cover, as an example, the Las Vegas shooting. And so I thought I'd bring it to your attention because, a lot of times people listen to my channel, and what's really going on behind the scenes is some pretty complex math. And these guys are using techniques which are kind of similar to what I'm doing. They're a little bit more sophisticated on their machine learning stuff, but they're also less critical on their data, shall we say. So, as you can see, it's a shooter localization demo, and if you play the video, it's nothing. Just don't even bother going there because there's no sound, no nothing. But I put it here so you can take and follow this link over here, which will deliver you to their project page, from which you can download a technical report that I'll be covering here briefly in a second. But on this project page, they have this link will go to a technical report, and you can go to GitHub just like I do for my stuff. Actually, I don't publish my stuff yet. They provide the source code and models, and don't bother going there unless you're a programmer fluent in Python and a lot of other things. And you can, there's a couple of videos here you can watch. They're kind of boring, but I use this because this gives me credibility, where you can go and see where other people are doing stuff similar to what I'm doing, which is also similar in some ways to places like ShotSpotter and all the other myriad of techniques people use to locate the shooter's position. Okay, so let's go briefly over their technical report, just briefly. Like in 2 or 3 minutes. So basically, this is an abstract paper, or a paper presenting the abstract and a little bit of detail about their system. And their system, well, you can read it for yourself. But anyway, as it relates to what I'm doing, they have two ways of measuring things here. One is by taking videos, and if we go down here a bit, you take videos, and what they do is they plot a power spectrogram, just like I do. And in this case, having done this a lot, I can tell you these are the first shots from, one of the first shots videos, because I recognize these as the only ones that have this pattern of shockwave reflection, and muzzle blast in those proportions. And anyway, from that they can determine the time of arrival between the shockwave and the muzzle blast, and from that, with a little math, they can generate a probabilistic map here of where the shooter might be. So that's one technique, and in this case, Mandalay Bay is over here. So you see, along with Mandalay Bay, the shooter could have been anywhere, including the tanks or a number of other places. That's one technique. So using lag, as I'd call it, the time of arrival difference between the shockwave and the muzzle blast, will get you a general concept of what's going on. Now, if they had more measurements like I do, they could have produced the teardrop lag map, which gives a much better idea of which direction it was coming from. They also go back to a standard method for triangulating on a spot. And in this case, the end result is going to be involving some hyperbolic curves here. And the basic approach here is to take two videos, you synchronize them with events that are outside the domain of sound. Namely, you use the video themselves So you take and find two common video frames or two events. I use the marquee sign on the Mandalay Bay, but you could use anything which is common to both videos. And then with the knowledge that they should line up exactly, you can then measure the time of arrivals from those synchronized videos for both, whichever is present, the muzzle blast and or the sonic shockwaves. Normally you just do it with the muzzle blast, and then from that you can estimate which direction the shooter was from. And then you take three videos, and you take all combinations. So if you have videos A, B, and C, you'll take A, B, B, C, and C, A, and you'll do the same thing and the overlapping of these lines. And I encourage you to read this. It's kind of an interesting exercise. Will give you an idea. In this case, they've located it at the Mandalay Bay, and let's see. That's just showing how you synchronize the videos. Then they go into the math. You've seen some of this on my stuff, and while not trivial in terms of what they present here, it is accessible to anybody with a little bit of understanding of trigonometry. And somewhere down here, yeah, they go into detail about how they do it, but I wanted to, maybe it's in the video. Yeah, I guess it's in the video. Well, anyway, you have to watch one of their videos. They go into a little bit better indication of where they can localize the shooting location to be. And just like I've been saying all along, is that it's not going to give you the pinpoint room. It's going to give you a region, and their region is about the same as mine, 100 to 200 feet on the north wing of Mandalay Bay at an elevated position. So if you don't believe me, and you don't believe these guys, and you don't believe any of these shot spotters, well, I don't know what you can say. So anyway, just a little bit of corroboration in case you have any doubts about what I'm doing or what other people are doing to locate the position of the shooter. I'll grab you in the next one.